What is this document? The Hollister Firefighters Union put this presentation together to provide an alternate solution to the current fire contract issues. From our perspective, it seems like the City of Hollister and the County of San Benito have not been able to come to an agreement regarding the fire services contract. What is the current situation? San Benito County and San Juan Bautista contract with the City of Hollister to provide fire services in those communities. Prior to this contract, there were 3 separate departments with many differences in equipment, staffing, and training. Currently, all personnel are employees of the Hollister Fire Department and abide by the same equipment, staffing, and training standards. What does your fire department do? We respond to the following calls throughout the entire 1,390 square miles of San Benito County: medical emergencies, vehicle accidents, wildland fires, structure fires, technical rescues, hazardous materials incidents, and natural disasters. When staffed and available, CAL FIRE currently assists us with these emergencies if they are closer or we do not have the resources to mitigate them ourselves. Where are our stations? There are 4 fire stations, each staffed with 3 Hollister firefighters 24/7. Station 1 is in downtown Hollister, that serves the Central District. Station 2 is at Union and 25, that serves the Southern District. Station 3 is at the airport, that serves the Northern District. And Station 4 is in San Juan Bautista, and that serves the Western District. Here is a map of those station locations. You can see Station 1 surrounded by yellow in the middle of Hollister. Below that is Station 2 surrounded by blue. Above Station 1 surrounded by purple is Station 3. That's at the airport in Hollister. And to the left of that, you'll see Station 4 surrounded by green, and that is in San Juan Bautista.
We really want to show where we currently go to calls and where that would shrink if we lose the county contract. So right here you can see the border of San Benito County. As it stands today, we currently go to every single call within this county. CAL FIRE assists us when they're able to, and when it's a wildland fire in the state responsibility area. But if there's a medical or a vehicle accident or any kind of technical rescue call, we're going to it right here within the county limits. If we zoom in, you can see San Juan Bautista. So the city of San Juan Bautista is within this purple area. The engine here at Station 4 that serves the city of San Juan Bautista also serves the west end of the county, west of Union Road, all the way to the county line. And they will go into Aromas as well for some mutual aid incidents if called for. We can go over here to Hollister. Hollister is the blue shaded area. That's the Hollister city limits. If we lose the county contract, our engines would only serve this blue shaded area. And you can see when we zoom in, there are a lot of communities that aren't within that blue shaded area. You can look at over here off of Kane Drive, Rosebud Avenue, Daffodil Drive, north of Santa Ana. All those communities are out. El Camino Paraiso. Right here, these are county pockets. They would not be the responsibility of the city of Hollister. Dry Creek, the community over here on Dry Creek, would not be the responsibility of the city of Hollister. This whole section of Holiday Estates off of Holiday Drive would not be the responsibility of the city of Hollister. Cielo Vista, Quail Hollow, the new houses over here off of South Side. Ridgemark, Promontory, the new houses over here on Ridgemark. They are right over here. This is the Promontory. This map is obviously not updated, but that would be out. And then obviously Tres Pinos. So it really cuts down the fire response to those communities where a lot of our residents reside. And hopefully that paints a good picture of, for the residents in Hollister that don't really know that they're not in the Hollister city limits, gives you a good idea what to expect for your fire services if this contract does not go through.
Why should we remain consolidated? More resources are quickly available for larger incidents. Training, staffing, and equipment remain consistent. The community benefits from faster response times and more personnel at an affordable price. And each entity benefits from the sharing of resources. Has this been studied? In 1991, the San Benito County Fire Protection Master Plan recommended the formation of a functional consolidation between the City of Hollister and San Benito County Fire Departments, with Hollister City providing the management and operations. In 2001, the San Benito County Grand Jury Report recommended the Hollister City and San Benito County Fire Departments to consolidate. In 2005, the City of Hollister Fire Task Force recommended boundary drops, providing for the closest resource response. In 2010, the San Benito County Grand Jury Report recommended a consolidated fire protection effort between all fire agencies in the county. And in 2018, the Fire Protection Feasibility Study recommended partnerships through intergovernmental agreements. How more resources are beneficial. NFPA 1710 requires 15 firefighters on scene within 8 minutes to fight a house fire. Our current 4 engine companies supply 12 firefighters. A NIST study states that the reduction of 1 firefighter to a fire can increase the time to complete vital tasks by 25%. A published study in California suggests that 1 commercial fire endangers $5 million of structural and business loss to the community. The combination of the county engine, Hollister's 2 engines, and the San Juan Bautista engine are required for an effective fire attack. Here is a visual representation of NFPA 1710 that requires 15 firefighters on scene of a residential structure fire. Here's what our past response model looked like when we had 3 separate departments. In San Juan Bautista, there was only 1 engine. In the city of Hollister, there was only 2 engines. And in San Benito County, there was only 1 engine. Without the fire service contract, a structure fire in the city of Hollister would only receive 2 engines to fight that structure fire. Without the fire contract, a structure fire in San Benito County would only receive 1 engine to fight that structure fire. Without the fire contract, a structure fire in San Juan Bautista would only receive 1 engine to fight that structure fire. With the contract in place, this is our response to a structure fire in the entire county of San Benito, whether it be in the city of Hollister, in San Juan Bautista, or in an unincorporated portion of the county. There are 4 engines that would be responding to that, and the engines will be coming out of Station 1, Station 2, Station 3, and Station 4. Here's our current response model. We have 1 engine that serves the San Juan Bautista district. We have 2 engines in the city of Hollister that serve those districts. We have one engine that serves the San Benito County District, and we have mutual aid agreements with CAL FIRE, Aromas, and Santa Clara. And as you can see, all of these districts are served by their respective stations. But if there's a bigger incident, at a moment's notice, those other engines can go into that other district and help mitigate that issue in a timely manner. Although we've been talking about structure fires, I just want to re-emphasize that this current response model also applies to the medical emergencies, vehicle accidents, wildland fires, structure fires, technical rescues, hazardous materials incidents, and natural disasters that we respond to. The benefits of this current response model is that when multiple calls occur at the same time, this model increases resources available at reasonable response times. And did you know that on average, 46% of our calls overlap each other? That means 46% of the time when we get one call, another one is coming out, or there are engines already working on another call. A benefit of consolidation is the ability to grow with our communities. The following slides depict what our response model could look like in the future if we combine our resources and remain consolidated. With the growth that we've seen in our community over the past few years, we see a need to staff a truck company in the city of Hollister and an additional engine company to serve the county. This is what that future response model would look like with those additional companies in place. With those additional companies in place, this is what the response model for a structure fire would look like. We would have more than enough engine companies to respond to a residential structure fire, and we would have engine companies available to respond to other calls that are occurring while that structure fire is being mitigated. The biggest question with this contract is how much should each entity contribute? Cost allocation cannot be viewed through the lens of call volume or time spent on task. The fire department exists to protect population, infrastructure, and business economy. Population percentage is a good place to start to determine the amount of resources needed for the community. Disclaimer: this proposal is a concept provided by the Hollister Firefighters Union and has not yet been endorsed by the City of Hollister, County of San Benito, or the City of San Juan Bautista. Please note the comparisons between population, call volume, and budget contributions. The census updates their population data every 10 years. 2020 is the most recent census data that we have to reference. In 2020, there were 41,678 people in the city of Hollister. We had 20,492 people in the county of San Benito. And in the city of San Juan Bautista, we had 2,089, which brings the total population of San Benito County to 64,209. If you refer back to the census data of 2020, 65% of our population was in the city of Hollister, 32% of our population was in the county of San Benito, and 3% of our population was in San Juan Bautista. If you look at the call volume for 2022, 60% of our calls were in the city of Hollister, 36% of our calls were in San Benito County, and 4% of our calls were in San Juan Bautista. And we noticed that call volume and population are very, very similar. But if you look at the budget contributions of 22 and 23, 82% of the budget was provided by the city of Hollister, 16% of the budget was provided by San Benito County through the fire contract, and 2% of the budget was provided by San Juan Bautista through the fire contract. Now, if you look at the data from 2023, 62% of our calls were in the city of Hollister, 32% of our calls were in San Benito County, and 6% of our calls were in San Juan Bautista. As far as budget contributions go, in 23-24, 83% of the budget was paid by the city of Hollister. 15% of the budget was paid by the county through the fire contract, and 2% of the budget was paid by San Juan Bautista through the fire contract.
Now, if you look at the data from 2024, 63% of our calls were in the city of Hollister, 31% of our calls were in San Benito County, and 6% of our calls were in San Juan Bautista. Comparing that to the budget contributions, 84% of the budget was contributed by the city of Hollister, 14% of the budget was covered by San Benito County through the fire contract, and 2% of the budget was covered by San Juan Bautista through the fire contract.
So here's our concept. Let's use population to determine the cost allocation per entity. And here's that 2020 census data again so we can review it. 65% of the population is in the city of Hollister, 32% of the population is in San Benito County, and 3% of the population is in San Juan Bautista. Now, if we took those population percentages and put them into percent contributions to the fire budget, 65% of that budget would be provided by the city of Hollister, 32% of that budget would be provided by San Benito County, and 3% of that budget would be provided by San Juan Bautista. So now let's compare our concept with the way it is working currently. The concept is that City of Hollister would be paying 65%, which would be $10,455,318, which compared to the current budget contributions, Hollister is currently paying 84%, which is $13,578,103. With the concept, San Benito County would be paying 32% of the budget, which would amount to $5,147,234, which they're currently contributing 14%, which is $2,242,688. And San Juan Bautista would go up from 2% to 3%, increasing their budget contributions from $264,314 to $482,553. So why should we use population percentages? Because call volume is unpredictable, but we can use population as a rough estimator. Having each entity pay by population percentage eliminates the need for increasers. And population percentage should equal the percentage contribution to the fire service budget. Here are some other benefits to the percentage-based system. This concept is sustainable, and costs are fair and predictable as the census data is updated every 10 years. An increase to the fire budget would be spread across all entities, and in turn, a decrease in the fire budget would also be shared amongst all entities. An increase in population in one jurisdiction, which could result in an increase in call volume, will result in an increased contribution by that entity. This allows for our fire service to grow with our community, thus providing the best service possible. The cost for more personnel, equipment, and stations will be shared, and all entities will benefit from the increased fire protection. Thank you. We appreciate you taking the time to look at this concept. The Hollister Firefighters are dedicated to providing the best service possible to our community, and we appreciate all of the support that we have received.